this is Jillian Wynn, one of the instructors of the course. I'm just going to give you a quick walkthrough of Angel and the things you need to know in order to do well in this class. So first of all, when you come into Angel, you're going to want to click onto the course name. When you're in the actual course within Angel, you should see the name of the course at the top, like you see on the screen here, where it says FS11 TC 349 730. Client-side web development. Now, this first page, the course page, it has just kind of an overview of what's going on in the class. You can see like an update on your grade on here. You can also get a little description about this section and contact information about myself and Valita. It's just a quick way for you to get contact information about us. It's also in the syllabus though. The main place you're going to use when you're in Angel is the Lessons tab or Lessons page. So I'm going to go ahead and click on the Lessons tab, and there are two things here that are helpful that you'll use throughout the semester. First is the General Course Information folder. In the General Course Information folder, you've got the syllabus, you've got course schedule, you've got some general tips, and you've got some assignments. Now, basically, whenever you want to find the syllabus or the course schedule, always look in the General Course Information folder. It'll always be in there. It'll be updated throughout the semester if there's ever any slight tweaks or changes. And so basically, you can go in, you can see the syllabus. I'm going to go back to the Lessons tab and click General Course Information again. Same thing goes for the course schedule. You can view that at any time. Now, general tips. We have this folder here because it has different things in it, like directions on how to FTP, some XHTML tips, a CSS cheat sheet. Now, these are things that you might want to get throughout the semester, but we also will be introducing them like in certain weeks. So, for example, in week 1, this week, we teach you how to use FTP. Those directions will be given to you in the course material this week, but because you might want to look up something later on as a reference and not want to have to remember, oh, what week did I learn that, we put general tips in this general tips folder so you can also access them this way. It's really just for convenience. I'm going to go back to general tips again, and the other thing in this general course information folder is an assignments folder. Again, we'll list every assignment in the week's material. So the week's material will say, these are the assignments for the week. But we will also put them in this assignments folder. So if you need to go back and look at something and you don't remember what week it's from, you can go to the assignments folder. It's going to have everything listed from the entire semester. And again, go back to the general course information folder. So those are the main things that are in that folder. I'm going to go back to the lessons folder, and again, you can use these kind of shortcuts here, or you can use the main tab to get back to the lessons folder. Now, the other main folder that we have here is the Dropboxes folder. So sometimes when you're turning things in, you'll be turning things in on our class server. Other times, you'll be turning things in the class Dropbox. Whenever we say to turn something in the Dropbox, you're going to want to go to this Dropboxes folder. You're going to want to find the activity, click on it, and then submit your activity through that Dropbox. It's pretty easy. I think you'll get the hang of it pretty quick if you haven't used a Dropbox before. So besides general course information and Dropboxes, which will always be at the top of the page and that are just kind of for throughout the semester, you will always find a This Week folder or page on this lessons page. So this week is week 1. You can see it says This Week, Week 1, Introduction and Web Basics. Some other things you can easily tell just by viewing this page is that this week is Wednesday, August 31st. Wednesday, August 31st through Sunday, September 4th, and it also says in parentheses when the assignments are due from this week. Now, that's just kind of a quick reference for you, but basically every week you come in, there'll be a This Week folder. You then go into the This Week, and you'll get an overview of what is assigned for the week first, including topics and assignments. This is also listed on the course schedule. Then it's going to start with part 1, go into part 2 and however many parts there might be for that week. And we suggest you go in the order that everything is listed. Then at the end of the page, you'll have a quiz listed because there's usually a quiz every week. And then you'll also have a listing of the assignments due for the week. And this is just a review. They've already been listed above, but it's kind of like a summary of the assignments due for the week. So basically, every week you come in, you have your This Week folder, you do everything on that page, and you're good to go. I'm going to go back to the lessons page. So that's pretty much the gist of it. Everything's pretty straightforward, easy to find. I'm going to go over a few of the other tabs in Angel, just in case you haven't used Angel before. You should be able to see the Communicate tab. The Communicate tab will let you send messages. You can send messages to us through Angel, and it kind of works like a normal mail program would work. You can also go to the Report tab if you want to look up your grade and run a grade report. And Angel seems to be lagging here a little bit, but basically you would click on Grades, and then you would just click Run because it'll automatically have your name there. And those are everything that you really need to know about Angel. Now I'm going to tell you a little bit about the syllabus. So if you go in to General Course Information, to the syllabus, it has our contact information, our office hours. You can contact us during office hours via Instant Messenger or Google Chat. You can also come and meet with us in the ComArts building. We are physically located in the ComArts building, and although this is an online class, you're welcome to meet with us in person. If our office hours don't work for you, we're happy to schedule a time that does. And if you ever have a question, please do ask. Just like a normal in-person class, you still get access to us, and we're happy to help you out, whether it's online or if it's in person. So this is an online class, but it has the same amount of meeting time as a physical class would have. So this is a 3-credit course, which means there are 56 arranged hours. If it was a physical class, we'd be meeting for 4 hours a week, 2 hours for lecture, 2 hours for lab, so you should estimate that it would be about that much work since it's equivalent to a physical class, but it's online. And then of course you'll also have assignments on top of that. In terms of course material, everything's provided in Angel. You might want headphones. Sometimes it's easier to use headphones to hear videos and such. Software, you can review this more in the syllabus, but basically Dreamweaver, Photoshop. I've also listed some free options, but those are the main ones that we always demo in and that we suggest you have. But if you're not 100% sure that you want to make the purchase for those, you can use free versions, but just know that we won't be demoing in those versions. There's no textbook, but we will have readings provided throughout the semester. We're going to have FTP and basically a web server where you can store things, but you will need to do work on your own computer, and it's possible you might want to back stuff up. If you're using the computer labs, which is totally fine, you can use computer labs in the ComArts building. You want to make sure that you're not saving just on the public drive because stuff gets erased all of the time. So make sure you back it up on a USB or a hard drive or something. Basically in this course, every week there are readings. Every week there are quizzes. Every week there are lab activities. There are going to be a few design critiques, and there will be several design challenges. And basically a lab activity is a short activity that tests you on usually like a specific skill set, and usually there's 1 or 2 of those a week. And then a design challenge is going to be a little bit larger of an assignment, and a design challenge is going to test you normally over several different concepts. Grading is on a 4.0 scale. Sometimes you might get fractional grades on individual assignments like a 3.8 or a 3.78, But at the end of the class, everything has to round up to something like a 4.0, a 3.5. It all is in 0.5 increments at the end of the class. And if you look in the syllabus here, you can see how the grading scale works. And it also lists percentages. So if we're grading you with percentages, you can see, well, what the heck does that mean? It's right there. In terms of the late policy, quizzes you have to do on time. We do not accept quizzes after their due date at all, so make sure that you really stick to that. Of course, we like all assignments turned in by their deadline, but we do accept late assignments for other things, just not quizzes. So late assignments such as design challenges and lab activities will be marked down 1 full point after being, once they're 1 day to 1 week late. And after that, it'll be an additional grade point if you can get it in by the end of the semester. If we don't get it by the Wednesday of finals week, then you'll get a 0 point. But we do really encourage you to turn work in, because if you turn in all your work in this class, you should pass, in theory. So I don't think the class is super challenging. We're not trying to make it like difficult for you. We just really want you to learn the material, so you really just have to turn in all of your work. And if you don't turn in your work, you're going to have problems. And it's easy to get behind in an online class, so just try to get stuff in on time if you can. Make sure that you don't plagiarize. We already have a video on that too, where it goes into more detail, so I won't harp on that too much. But also make sure you're not submitting work from other classes or from basically anything you've done in the past. And that pretty much covers the syllabus. The way the schedule works for the class is we put new material up every Tuesday morning. We'll also send an email to let you know that, oh hey, this week's material is up. Then you have until Monday at basically midnight, or 11:59. Everyone kind of gets a little confused when we say Monday at midnight. What we really mean is on Monday night by 11:59 p.m. you should turn in your work. If it is at midnight, which is actually Tuesday morning, we're not going to mark you late if it's 1 minute late, but have your stuff in Monday by the end of Monday night every week, and then expect Tuesday morning to have new stuff up. So that's how it works, but all the deadlines are also listed on the course schedule. They're also listed on the material for the week, and they're pretty clear. And if you ever have a question, just let us know.